Hello. Well, I think welcome to the library. We are delighted that you are here today and for this first in our 2023-2024 series of Focus on Seniors. And we are looking forward to the program Preventing Falls, Staying Active and Independent for Life. So, can you hear me okay? Okay, thank you. My name is Melinda and I work here in reference at the library. And I'm always so pleased to work with this group. We are very grateful to partner with the Blount County Community Action Agency Office on Aging, including Teresa O'Meara, the director, and also Julie George, who is an RN with Blount Memorial, the community liaison for home health services. Right? And she has been helping coordinate the programs this year also. And we have a wonderful panel here behind us from the Blount Memorial Total Rehab Falls Prevention Team. And I believe Teresa and Julie will tell you more about them. Thank you everyone for being here. And of course, we especially appreciate you coming. If you haven't had a chance already to go to the table that you saw as you came in to pick up some packets. There's a lot of very informative information there for you to take home with you. And that includes packets from the Office on Aging, as well as some information about our upcoming programs for Focus on Seniors. And they include, in October, a program about Medicare. So there's some bookmarks there that'll give you those dates and times and so forth. Just a couple of little housekeeping things to note. This program is evidence-based, of course, but it is provided for general educational information purposes only. So if you are seeking medical advice per se, we hope you will please check with your medical provider. Also, we will be recording the program, and we hope to have it posted online, so if you know of folks who missed it and would like to see it online, or if you'd like to see it again, it should be available. We hope it all goes well before too long there. But we do ask that you please hold your questions until the end of the program. We'll stop recording, and then you can ask your questions at that moment. And right at this time, I'm going to turn the program over to Teresa O'Meara. And thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda. Well, welcome to our first in a series of 10 Focus on Senior presentations. I have a really nasty cold, so I'm wearing a mask, but I have it off right now, so I'm kind of standing back with the mic for Julie. And I just want to thank you, each one of you, for participating and coming out. But I also want to remind you afterwards that we have volunteer opportunities through the organization, and we have our senior outreach program here as well. And we'll tell you more about that at the end. With further ado, I want to introduce you to Julie George. She's with the Blount Memorial Home Services, and she's the one who put our panel together today. Thank you, Julie.
I really can't take credit for putting this panel together. I will tell you, they are an ongoing group that studies this topic, and I'm so glad that you all came today with your interest in preventing falls in the home, because these folks are subject matter experts. And I will call out, their manager is Rebecca Morris. She's right here. She manages all of the total rehab locations in our community. And so I want to go ahead and tell you a little bit about these ladies. They are professionals, and I'm so glad that they literally study this year in, year out. They have a program ready to go. So when this opportunity came up, and Teresa, working with the public library, has a terrific slate for the year, I want to encourage you to get a bookmark that has the list of all of the programs that are coming up. And I'll look forward to seeing you all again as these months go by. We're expanding this year. Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Melinda, from 6 programs last year to 10 this year, and I'm really excited about that. Our ladies that we have here today, I want to thank each of them for coming and for all the work that they've done in preparation. We have Daniel Hamileski. She's a doctor of physical therapy, and she is a neuro-certified specialist. She works at Blount Memorial Total Rehab, Maryville. That's the one closest to the hospital. Cassandra Tucker is a physical therapist, and she is working in Blount Memorial Home Health. She's also a doctor of physical therapy. Erin French, doctor of physical therapy, works at Total Rehab at Fairview. That's one of our newer locations, opened about 3 years ago, and that's out near what they call the Maryville Walmart. Sarah Jane Malone is a doctor of physical therapy and is board certified geriatric clinical specialist. And she's a team lead, and she works at Transitional Care Center at the Total Rehab location we have there. And I would like for us all to warmly welcome these ladies. Thank you so much.
Okay, can you hear me? Awesome. Well, like Julie said, my name is Danielle. I am a board certified neuro specialist, and today we just want to take a moment to educate you just about balance, fall risk, home safety, and Erin's going to wrap us up with a talk on assistive devices and shoe wear. So what is balance? Balance is just your ability to stay upright while you are doing different tasks. My favorite definition on here is to keep or put something in a static position so that it does not fall. So we have 4 systems that help us to maintain our balance. We have our musculoskeletal system, our visual system, which would be our eyes, our proprioceptive system, which is the sensory system in our skin and joints, and we have our vestibular system, which is our inner ear. So these systems coordinate together to help us to maintain our balance when we're doing our daily activities. So the first one we're going to talk about is the musculoskeletal system. This is our muscles and our joints. Our joints are what allow us to have range of motion and freedom of movement. So whenever you are thinking in relation to balance, to be able to step over an obstacle, you have to have the right amount of range of motion in your hip, in your knee, in your ankle to be able to step over that. So if you're thinking about your dog that's laying in the middle of the floor, or getting up onto a curb or something like that, you have to have that range of motion. So that happens through our joints. And then you have to have the strength to be able to do that. You have to have the strength to be able to lift yourself up onto a step, or to be able to get up out of a chair. So there's 3 different components of our muscles that work with strength, endurance, and power. Strength is just your ability to move into a position against a resistance. So for most of us, that's our body weight, being able to stand up out of a chair. That's also our strength to be able to pick up a bag of groceries and be able to carry them. Endurance is to be able to maintain that position. So when we're thinking about the grocery analogy, that's your ability to pick up the bag of groceries and then carry it into the house. Power is your ability to quickly react. So that's, you have your bag of groceries, you're walking into the house, you trip. Power is what allows you to be able to catch your balance, be able to perform a quick step to maintain your balance. One way that you can test muscle strength on your own is to do a 30-second sit-to-stand test. So that's just the most simple thing. You want to sit in a chair much like you're sitting in now. So it's usually about 17 or 18 inches off the ground. And you time yourself. How many times can you stand and sit in 30 seconds? And that will give you an idea of how strong your legs are. If you cannot stand up without using your hands, that's an increased risk for falling. There's normative values, so depending on your age, there's a certain level that they have studied that determines is a range of strength for your age. And then obviously as we age, that goes down a little, as expected. But that's one way you can test your muscle strength at home. All right, moving into the visual system. So there are different aspects of our vision that help us with our balance. So the first thing is acuity. That's essentially how clearly you can see and how far you can see. That's something that you're going to get checked out with your eye doctor. And they do recommend yearly visits to your eye doctor to make sure your eyes haven't changed, over the course of a year. And the visual field is just the amount you can see in front of you. There's different diseases that happen as we age that can affect that visual field. So glaucoma, diabetic, retinopathy, those different things can affect that field. Your tracking is your ability to follow objects. That's going to affect your balance the most. So if you have issues with your eyes tracking moving objects and being able to move from one target to another, that's going to cause you to feel dizziness and can cause you to feel very unsteady when you're out and about walking around. So a lot of us wear glasses and things like that. Just make sure that your glasses are clean. If they're broken, please get a new pair. And the prescription needs to be updated whenever your eyes change. So this is just a fun little thing to talk about visual tracking. There's different types of visual tracking, like I mentioned. Your ability to fixate on an object, that's just your ability to hold steady. So find a letter up there with your eyes and just hold your eyes on there. And if you can maintain focus on that object that you're looking at, you're able to fixate on an object. The next one are your saccades or saccades. And that's just your ability for your eyes to move from one point to another. This is used most often in our daily lives when we're reading something. So we'll move from, left to right and then quickly have to go back to the left while we're reading. So to test whether or not you're having issues with your saccade movements, I want everyone to keep your head still, but look at the letter on the left. Look at the O. And what I want you to do is move your eyes from the O to the C, and then down to the G, then to the E, then the P, then the R. Just move from side to side. And if you are able to maintain that object in focus, then you're not having issues. If you feel dizzy when you're doing that, you may have some issues with tracking, and that's something you may want to get checked out. And then we have our pursuits. So that's just your ability to maintain focus on a moving target. So if you're watching your grandkids out in the yard play with your pets, or you're watching a car go by, and you can maintain focus of that object while it's moving and you are still, then you're good with your pursuits. That means your body is able to fixate on that. And then we have the vestibular system. That's our inner ear. That's what allows us to detect our body slowing down or speeding up. It detects our direction of where we're going. So if we turn our head to the left, that tells our body, hey, we're going left now. It detects rotation, angles of motion. That's what's most stimulated, like when we're riding in the car or if you get motion sick. A lot of that is because we have a weak vestibular system. And then the vestibular system works directly with the eyes through the vestibular ocular reflex. So that is what allows you to be able to turn your head and use your eyes to fixate on an object. So when there's disruptions in that system, that's going to also affect your balance, because it will definitely make you feel dizzy, and it may make you feel very unsteady as well. So one way to test that VOR system, I want everyone to take your thumb and put it out in front of you. Okay? Focus on that thumb and turn your head side to side. And you want to keep focus on your thumb. And if you start to lose focus on your thumb, or it gets really blurry, or you feel dizzy, then that could be an issue with your VOR system. So essentially, that just means that it may need to be strengthened or provided some exercises to get that better. All right, and then our proprioception system. So that is essentially what can you feel. It also detects where your body is in space. So that can be affected by different diseases as well. So diabetes obviously is a big one that comes to mind. Anyone with any kind of neuropathy, if you have peripheral artery disease or venous insufficiency, that can all affect your proprioceptive system. So that just means that your body's not as good at adapting to changes in surfaces. It's not as good at identifying where you are in space, and that's going to affect your coordination and your balance and your ability to walk and do the different things that you enjoy doing. A way to test your proprioceptive system, when you're at home, just take your shoe off and then have your loved one move your big toe up and down. So up means that your toe is closer to you, down means it's further away from you. And then you're going to close your eyes and say, okay, you're going to move your toe, and then they're going to move it up or down, and then you have to detect, is my toe up or down? And they'll tell you if you're right or wrong. If you're unable to detect that, that could be an issue with your proprioceptive system, and you may want to get that checked out and strengthened. Another way is to do a single leg balance test. Essentially, you're just going to stand on one leg. If you're very unstable, have something close by that you can, grab hold of. But you're going to stand there, and the goal is 10 seconds or more. And there are lots of studies out there that say if you can hold your balance for 10 seconds or more, you may have a longer life expectancy. So to summarize that, our body has multiple systems that work together to allow us to maintain our balance while we're performing the activities that we enjoy. But what happens when we age? Aging is a normal process. We lose muscle mass, decrease bone density, decrease sensory feedback, you can read the list. Our vision changes, our reaction speed changes. These are all normal things. But there's good news. The normal process of aging can be slowed with regular physical exercise. So the American College of Sports Medicine and the CDC, they recommend 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise every week. So that could be 3 days of a 50-minute walk. That could be, 7 days at 25 minutes of walking, however you want to break it out. And then in addition to that, doing 2 days a week of muscle strengthening activities. So that is where you are challenging your strength system by loading your muscles to build up strength. And there's many different ways that you can do that. You can also, if you're not a big exerciser and you prefer more of a, let's just get this done, they do say that you can do 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise, but what's considered vigorous means that you can't talk while you're doing your exercise, but you still can breathe. So definitely don't push yourself to where you can't breathe. Unfortunately, some sad news, research has shown that only 9% of adults aged 65 or older meet the recommended physical activity guidelines. So what does that do to us? A lack of physical activity can lead to decreased flexibility, decreased muscle strength, worsening balance, and decreased function of the vestibular system. Having good balance helps to prevent falls. We know that falls can lead to injury, decreased mobility, and decreased fun. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Sarah Jane.
Can everybody hear me?
No.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, good. I'm Sarah Jane. I'm going to talk about why we fall. So let's define fall. The World Health Organization defines fall as an event which results in a person coming to rest inadvertently on the ground or at a lower level. Falls occur when the center of gravity moves outside of the person's base of support. Over 50% of falls from a community dwelling older adult occurs from a slip or tripping, and the person is normally walking forward. So here are some fall statistics. In 2020, there were 970 deaths related to falls in Tennessee. 812 of these deaths occurred in individuals greater than 65. Some more statistics. 1 out of 4 people aged 65 or older will fall. 1 in 5 falls cause a serious injury, such as broken bones or head injury. Each year, it's estimated 3 million older adults are treated in emergency rooms for fall injuries. So this is what we use in the clinic to help us, assess patients for fall risk. It helps guide us in our treatments. So we always ask 3 questions. The 3 questions are, have you fallen in the past year? Do you feel unsteady when standing or walking? And do you worry about falling? And then you can see the algorithm up here that we look at, and if you answer yes to any of these questions, then we usually go ahead and assess you for fall risk. So what factors increase fall risk? Environment and home safety, which Cassie will talk about in a little bit. Footwear and assistive devices, which Karen will talk about after Cassie. Medications, illnesses, disease, poor eyesight, poor hearing, dizziness, age, incontinence, memory issues, chronic pain, swelling in hands and feet, depression, and then musculoskeletal issues. Common musculoskeletal issues that increase risk for falls. Weakness in your quads, so the muscle on the top of your leg, especially if you are unable to control your body weight when sitting or going up and down stairs. Hip extensors and abdominal weakness. So those are your hip muscles, being able to kick your leg backwards or to the side, calf weakness, being able to rise up onto your toes, limited range of motion, especially ankle, reduced flexibility, decreased gait speed, which we'll talk about in a minute. That's how fast you're walking. Poor recruitment of balance strategies, which we'll go over that next, and then reduced sensation, which is the feeling in your feet. So these are the balance strategies. You have hip, ankle, and stepping. As Danielle talked about earlier, it's very important to improve your strength and range of motion in your hips, knees, and ankles to improve or to have good balance strategies. So for your hips, what it involves your muscle, your hip muscles, and those are used to stabilize your body and keep you in the upright position. So you use your hip strategy when you're walking forward and backwards. Your ankle strategy is your ankle joint and the surrounding muscles. And those are used for smaller movements. So if you're walking on an incline or walking on an unstable surface, your ankle strategy helps keep your balance. For stepping, it involves taking a step to prevent from falling. So if you're hit with like a good force that's knocking you out of your base of support, stepping helps you keep your balance. So again, it's important to have that hip strength, that ankle strength, and knee strength to have good strategies to prevent you from falling. And it's also good to have good range of motion in those joints. So gait assessment. We're going to talk about gait velocity, so that's how fast you're walking. We like to say that's the sixth vital sign. Gait velocity less than 3 feet per second has a 28% increase in risk for falling, and gait speed less than 2 feet per second has a 57% increased risk for falling. Now, how you determine gait velocity is you can take 10 feet in your home and see how long it takes you to walk that 10 feet. And then velocity is feet over seconds, so you would do 10 feet divided by the number of seconds it took you to walk that. And then you can determine what your gait velocity is. Okay. Quantitative gait markers are independent predictors of falls in older adults. Some of the gait markers are gait velocity, double leg stance time, so how long your feet are both on the ground while you're walking, gait stride, or step stride, stride length variability, swing time, so your step swing, your arm swing. A lot of times the older we get, we lose that trunk rotation and we lose that arm swing, so that also helps with our balance. 38% of subjects that demonstrate these gait markers report falls in a 20-month period. Some risk-taking behaviors. I think you guys have this handout in your bag. And so this was a good handout to look at home. Some personal behavior modifications that you can do at home, avoiding loose clothing, choose proper fitting footwear, maintain an active lifestyle, which those we've talked about so far. Use caution with your pets. Anybody have pets at home? Yeah. You never know what will jump out. Pre-planned activities, planning your day. Because sometimes you can fatigue. If the shower takes you a little bit, if you're tired from taking a shower, and then you're like, oh, I'm hungry, I need a meal. You maybe take a break and plan your day so that you don't get tired and weak. That will put you at higher risk for falling. Ways to avoid high-risk situations. Take your time answering the phone. If you hear your phone ringing and it's across the room, take your time to get up, or you can always call them back. Okay? Or answering the door. If you have somebody at the door, I'm sure they would wait. Avoid reaching out of basic support. So instead of reaching for something, maybe move your feet and then grab what you need. Because the more you reach out of your basic support, the more likely you're to fall. Slowly transition from laying down to sitting up and then to standing. So in the morning, when you get up, sit on the edge of the bed, let your body acclimate to the position change. Avoid carrying items that are too heavy. Be careful on the stairs and bathing. Okay, steps. Hear about a lot of falls, people on the stairs. And then at night, a lot of people going to the bathroom at night. Make sure that you are, Cassie will talk about this in a little bit, I'm sure, about putting lights, night lights up at home. Medication management. Keep a list of your medications. Know which doctors have given you the medications. Be sure to add any recently prescribed early medications to your list. Keep an up-to-date list. Keep a list of names on all of your medications, including prescriptions, vitamins, over-the-counter. Read your labels. Double check if there's more than one person in your home. Make sure that you're taking the right medications. Follow the instructions. So make sure that you're taking it, if it says take it in the morning or take it at night, make sure that you're taking it at the proper time of day. And make sure you're taking the right amount. And familiarize yourself with the possible side effects. This is a good one. Know if it makes you dizzy or if it makes you tired. Know the side effects so that you're aware. Okay, and you guys also have this handout in your packet or bag if you picked one up. So what if you fall at home? Do not panic. That's the first step. Do not get up right away and slowly move your arms and legs to check for injury. So we put pictures up here to kind of show you how to get up, and then there's also a step-by-step in your bag on the handout on how to get up. So the first thing is to lay onto your side or get onto your belly so that you can get up on all fours. And then you can crawl to a surface, either a chair or a couch or a counter, so that you can brace yourself. And then once you brace yourself on the chair, then you can get up onto your knees. And then you'll lift one leg up and then go into standing, and then you have support on that surface, either the counter or a chair or the couch to help you get up. And always call for assistance if you need it. So So here are some fall alert devices that are available. There are medical alert necklaces. There's multiple different brands out there that will detect if you fall and can alert medical services. I know there's usually some with phones that can call. There's also medical alert watches now that you can wear that will detect if you fall and that can call medical services if needed. And then there's also applications on phones. If you guys have a smartphone and are comfortable with using apps on your phone, there are quite a few applications on phones that you can use for fall safety. So now I'm going to turn it over to Kathy.
Thank you, Sarah. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Cassie, like she said. I get to work in home health, so every day I get to go to work and go into people's homes and help them with exactly what I'm going to share with you today. Something I love, I'll just love it over here. I'd love to go room by room with you, just like I would if I were doing an evaluation at home or helping someone with their fall safety or fear of falling. We've got some pictures up here. Kitchen, part of the home, right? We spend a lot of time in there, cooking, baking with grandkids. So let's set it up to make it safe for you. Bring commonly used items to your counter. You have special bowls, special utensils, anything you normally use, mixers. Put them all on the countertop for you. That way you're avoiding reaching up in the cabinets, the lower cabinets, and not having to carry something heavy with you. Some of the mixers are like 10 pounds. Avoid step stools. We all want to put, things we don't use very often up high. We might have a lot of cabinet space, but put those step stools away. Ask for help from a loved one when they come and visit you. They make reachers or grabbers, whatever you want to call them, kind of like a long stick with little pinchers on the bottom. You can easily grab, a cup or bowl rather than climbing up on the step stool. Even if you think it's really safe, don't use it. Give them to your kids. Put them in the garage, don't use it. And move your feet. If you do have to carry something heavy, try not to twist. You want to move your feet, turn your whole body with you. And the same thing if you're multitasking a little bit. You have a bowl here, you're cooking something on the stove over here. You might be tempted to kind of plant your feet and move your body back and forth. Try to slow down and take your time. Plan out a little better. Have everything close to you. Or again, move your feet. Keep turning. And rugs. A lot of us have those little squishy plush ones where we're doing dishes for several minutes. Maybe like a stove. But all it takes is a quick thought. Your heel just catches it, your toe catches it, and then we have a fall that we really need to avoid. So, set it up. And bathroom, believe it or not, most falls in our home happen in the bathroom. We have a lot of flat, smooth, wet surfaces. I really like this picture because it kind of shows the ideal, right? We had $1 million and could design our own house. It might look something like this in the bathroom. This person has lifts or tubs. They have all the grab bars and the seats that you can think of. But adaptive equipment is your friend. So if you don't have this, don't worry. You don't need to do a $20,000 remodel. Just work with what you have. You have a tub. They make shower chairs. They make tub transfer benches where 2 of the legs are outside your tub and 2 of the legs are inside your tub. You just have to slide your butt down the bench rather than having to step over your tub if you're having trouble with that. Right by the toilet in this picture, you can see different types of grab bars. Obviously, the most stable ones are going to be the ones that can go into the studs of your walls, like these metal kind here. But they do make transfer poles that are tension-based. You
can set your bedside commode over top of your toilet. That way you have a higher seat and some grab bar or some handles. You just have to take the bucket under your bedside commode and set it over top. A lot of people don't have a lot of room on either side of the toilet, so again, work with what you have. And then toilet risers, you can sit something it's usually plastic, to sit on top of your toilet to give you an extra several inches. The higher the surfaces, the easier it's going to be to get up and down. So a lot less pulling on counters or towel bars that aren't really made, to support body weight. Also in the shower, if you do sit down, the handheld little wand is really helpful too. It can get all your nooks and crannies without having to stand up and risk a slip, especially when we close our eyes to wash our hair. Try to have a grab bar on there, so that you can hold on with one hand while you're doing what you need to do to get clean, and then switch to the other side. Grab bars are wonderful. They're economical. Really easy to install for a handyman. We also use a lot of rugs in the bathroom, but just like in the kitchen, we do want to try to avoid using those. Walker legs can really easily peel up. Those back legs, they roll under, and we're standing on one foot, trying to get the wrinkle down, and down we go. So try to roll up those rugs. And we have lots of stored items underneath your sink. Try to bring them out to your countertop. So your commonly used, whether it's medicine or toiletries, lotions, put them out on the counter for you. That's less bending, getting down, trying hard to get back up. But put them out and set your bathroom up for what you need. Get everything on the floor. We don't have a lot of room in there anyway, so try to not have extra little storage containers if possible. And lastly, your bedroom. We spend about a third of our lives if we sleep well in our bedrooms, so let's go ahead and set that up for you as well. Consider a bed rail. There's a picture here. There are many different styles out there. This one slips under the mattress and just a small little looped handle for you. Really, really helpful for getting in and out of bed, especially if that's hard for you. You have back trouble. Roll over and your bed rail. It stays out of the way. It's not really long, where it's going to prevent you from getting out in a hurry if you have to go to the bathroom. Look at your mattress height. So ideally, you sit on the side of your bed, your feet are flat on the floor, and your hips should be like an L shape, 90 degrees. That's ideal. You shouldn't be having to get on step stools to get into your bed. Lots of falls there, too many stories. But they make lower mattress box springs. They make small ones, they're called low profile box springs. They're about 4 inches. But sometimes that can give you just enough decrease in height, if you're not able to make a big change in your mattress. And some mattress frames are adjustable. So look at the legs. Sometimes they have little notches. You can take it down a little bit. And also consider an adjustable mattress. They're really handy if you have maybe heart troubles, swelling, back trouble. You can really get in a really good sleeping position. Because you shouldn't really be sleeping in a recliner. And you think, what does that have to do with falls? But actually sleeping in a recliner, it's not good for our circulation, it's not good for our skin, you get some breakdowns, some pressure sores, and it changes our posture. And as the girls were mentioning earlier, posture and how we stand and walk really does affect our balance and our ability to recover when we do have a little stumble. It makes us a little more forward and grounded, changes our center of gravity. It can make us a little more flexed and we're not able to pick up our feet when we walk. So, if possible, try to sleep in bed. Make your bed work for you. And Sarah mentioned night lights. That's a really great and easy way to not fall at night. Just have to get up and go to the bathroom a few times during the night. Thank you, diuretics. But you don't have a night light. Leave your bathroom door cracked and your light on. It's another easy way. My lights can go in the hallway, they can go in your bathroom, your bedroom. I have several. But really handy. At night, we're not as alert. You know, we've been sleeping. Blood pressure's a little bit lower, so take your time, get up, use your night lights. You'd be surprised what a big difference that makes and how confident you are walking to the bathroom at night. By the way, in your packet, you have a copy of a lot of the safety tips that I've talked about today as well. In addition, there's some others on there that we didn't have time to talk about. And lastly, I'd just like to talk about some general things inside and outside the home that aren't necessarily specific to one room. Plan before it becomes an emergency. I don't know if any of you are planners, I am not, but it's always easier to make changes, whether they're big or small, to your house if you're planning ahead of time. So, you know, we don't want to fall, we don't necessarily plan for that, but you know, if I broke my ankle and I'm in a wheelchair, not be there for several weeks or months, to make changes to my room, to get a ramp, takes maybe a lot of money, but a lot of time, and I'm in a wheelchair, I can't walk, I can't help, and I can't do these things. So if I would have prepared the year before, months before, weeks before, little by little, making changes to my house, it wouldn't be such an emergency or such an issue. I did have to leave it down for a little while. So think about a ramp. As we get older, you know, ramps are great, whether we have, you know, an illness or a broken bone or have a hip replacement. This one in the picture, it's very aesthetically pleasing to the house and kind of goes right onto the porch. But don't think about how it looks. Think about how much safer and easier it's going to be if you carry your groceries to get into the house, whether you use a cane or a walker, how quickly you can get in and out of your house, you know, even in an emergency. They make all kinds. This one is attached to the porch and, you know, it looks maybe like wood. They make detached metal kinds. They just kind of set over your steps, easily removable, like if you're going to sell your house soon or something like that. Avoid uneven pavers outside. They look very, very pretty. You know, the little cobblestone or bricks, but if you ever have to use a cane or a walker or have trouble picking up your feet, those little pavers, you know, are very easily to trip us up. If you're trying to get out of the house quickly or we're distracted, it's really easy to catch a toe on the bed. Pets and toys. We love our fur babies, but they can move their toys around without us even knowing. We can turn quickly or go from room to room, maybe not have their lights on, and slip on one of their favorite toys. So try to keep those contained or look out for them. They tend to follow you around the house. Really, really take your time. They could easily be in between your legs or right behind you when you're trying to turn quickly. Just kind of be aware of that. Clear paths, that really applies to inside and outside. Any clutter that we can get rid of, you know, ahead of time before we're having trouble with balance is wonderful. Stacks of books or laundry baskets on the steps as you're going up. Try to take care of those and just have a nice clear path, especially if you have a cane or walker. Make sure you know, if you have to ask your family to move your bed 4 inches so you can get your walker wheels, you know, around your bed, or have a really large kitchen table from 2 houses ago when you had a bigger house before you downsized. Get rid of it. Get something smaller that fits your house that you can get your cane and walker around and make your home, you know, safe for you. It's your home and get exactly what you need. Pace yourself. One of the girls mentioned that. If you feel like you have a lot of energy in the morning, you want to get everything done, you know, shower, and then meals, and then doctor's appointments. Try to avoid that. You're going to be tired in the afternoon, which could lead to more falls. We're not, you know, thinking as clearly, we don't pick up our feet maybe as much, we're just tired. But pace yourself. Plan, you know, your shower in the morning, maybe take a small break, then do your lunch or breakfast meal. And take a little break, and then plan your doctor's appointments or visits with family. whatever arrangement, works for you, but pace yourself. Have some time in between activities for yourself to recover. Oxygen tubing may not apply to everyone, but you see a lot of falls in home health and some broken bones as a result. There's no magic way, for me to say do this with your oxygen tubing and it'll be perfect, but you just really have to be cognizant of that. Keeping it, wrapping it up in your hands as you go, or helping your loved one that's on oxygen. Be their oxygen tubing manager and walk with them and keep it out from under their walker legs, keep it out from under their feet, between their legs. It tricks a lot of people. Good lighting kind of goes with the night lights we talked about. More light we have, in our house while we're doing things, it actually helps with energy conservation. We're able to better see contrast. If there's a small puddle, it's the same color as your tile or wood floors. It's not necessarily easily seen. If you have good lights on, you can see that there's a difference in texture or color or choice. Maybe they're the same color as your floor. But better lighting is going to give you the opportunity to notice that something's there and you need to walk around it. And my favorite thing, ask for help. You all have raised families and grandchildren and fought wars and had 4 careers and don't want to ask for help. You're independent and want to stay that way, and that's wonderful. Ask for help. Your family and your friends love you. Church family loves you. People in the community, Agency on Aging, they're here to help. So don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel prideful. Ask for help. They're happy to install a grab bar for you, or to go get a cane and walker for you at the store, or pitch in and help get that ramp that you really need. Ask for help. They want help. They may not volunteer, but I bet they're willing. And again, here's that checklist that you guys have. So a little bit more than I talked about, but a great way for you to go room by room in your own house, family or friend's house that you're worried about, that you know has fallen a few times. Go through there and say, hey, I learned this at the top. I know it'll help you too. So, hope that was a little bit helpful. Turn it over to Erin.
Okay. All right. So I'm actually going to stand. I'm not a sitter, so watch me while I stretch my legs. So I'm going over assistive devices and shoe wear. Okay. So choosing the path of least assistance. Okay. So I think it was Miss Sarah Jane was talking about how we walk. Okay. Talking about posture, talking about stride length, all those gait monitors that monitors, yes. Those gait monitors that she was talking about earlier. So, looking at how you walk, your stride, your arm swing, the trunk control, those kinds of things. If we are going to be in this forward flex posture, when we walk, we don't have a whole lot of room for our range of motion in our hips. Okay, so if you're down here like this, you're not going to have the ability that if you trip to get that leg up and forward as you walk. So making sure that you're having that good tall posture, okay? Same thing with arm swing. I'm going to try my best to not ruin this while I walk, okay? So with the arm swing, as you're walking, that actually helps propel you forward, okay? Same thing with runners. You don't see runners going like this all the time, okay? They really get those arms pumping, okay? That helps get those glutes activated, those gut muscles activated, and gets you moving forward, okay? And then also the same thing with the trunk rotation, okay? The tall posture, that good rotation, that helps with the arm swing as well. I'm doing too much movement. Maybe I need to hold it like this. So now I'm going to get into some different assistive devices, okay? Why do we use assistive devices? Well, we need to get from point A to point B, so it helps you get there, okay? So improving your quality of life, decreasing that risk of falls. Same thing, if you are in this forward flex posture, or if you have one side that doesn't work quite as well as it needs to, that's why you get that assistive device in order to reduce those compensations. one side doesn't work as well, that's why I use that assistive device, okay? So getting into the types of assistive devices, we have different types of walkers, okay? We have different types of rollators, canes, and trek poles. I'm going to go over just a few and how I want you to use them, or we want you to use them, okay? And also a couple ones that I really just don't want you to use, and I'll get over the reason why, okay? So the first one, this is a rollator. This one is good in using for a shelf, okay, that we can use. I'm gonna walk around so everybody can see, okay? So this one's really good as it pushes really easily, okay? Gets me up nice and tall. Also, what I like about this is, like I said, with the shelf. So if you have a lot of things that you have to carry, you can put it on the shelf and get from room to room, okay? I'm going to go over why I don't like this, okay? So now, as you can see, when I come over here to the tile, it is really easy to push, okay? I can barely push it and it just keeps on going, okay? If you are not really good at reacting, okay? If it gets away from you, it's going to keep on going, and you like to go with it, okay? The other thing that I like to talk about with these is that a lot of people don't remember that they have brakes, okay? So whenever you go to use it and you go to sit down, excuse my lips, you go to sit down, make sure you walk these things, okay? Because if not, you're going to end up on your tail, okay? And we can't have that. So, going back to moving with these. So, that good tall posture, make sure that it's not too far out in front of you. Staying within that base of support, as these lovely ladies mentioned earlier, okay? If it's too far out here, you're going to take a nosedive, okay? So, getting on to the next one, we have just a front wheel rolling walker, okay? What I love about these is it's a lot easier to control than that one, okay? Also, I like these because some rollators don't get you up high enough. If you notice, I'm kind of tall. That one really didn't fit me as well. So normally rolling walkers get you up a little bit higher, okay? You can actually use this in walking, putting your hands down into it, and using this as an assistive device, okay? And so I use these a lot with, say, my post-total joints, okay? Total knees, total hips, anything like that. What I don't like about it is it also gets you way out here. So making sure that you're standing up nice and tall within this support. That's why it's there. If you get it way out in front of you, it's not going to be giving you as much support, okay? This is also a great one. Cassie also gave me another thing that I forgot to mention. Sometimes these suckers are really wide. It's hard to get in and out of places that don't have a lot of room. If you notice, to raise and lower these, you can actually flip these wheels to the inside, making it easier to get in and out of places, okay? If you have any concerns about assistive devices, medical provider can go over those with you. Also, durable medical equipment places that you can get these things from, they can also tell you a couple things about them too. I am going to go over my nemesis, okay? I do not like these things, okay? I'm not promoting that. If they work good for you, wonderful, okay? But you have to use them correctly. With these, I'm actually going to stand up here so everybody can see because I'm not going to walk around very much with these. So they have 4 points. With these, you have to make sure that these 4 points get down at the same time, okay? Because if you're walking and they're over here, you might fall, okay? So making sure, if you are to use these, wink, wink, I hope that you're safe with them and get all 4 points down, okay? Now, on to the regular cane. Single point cane, this is great. You can have some that have like a little 3-pointer at the end, but it's all to 1 point, okay? I love these suckers, okay? When you're walking, arm swing goes with opposite leg, okay? So you walk, the opposite foot steps with that same hand. I'm going to walk around with this one, okay? So as you're walking, making sure that you get that up to right posture, making sure the cane's not way out here, okay? because we don't want to take that nosedive, okay? So, good basic support, up nice and tall. Making sure that if you do have to lean on this a little bit, it's up to your standard, okay? So when you're standing up nice and tall, your arm is down at your side, okay? It should reach you right at the hinge of the hand, okay? Or the crease of the hand, however you want to put it. So up nice and tall, okay? Opposite arm, opposite leg. That frees up this other hand too, not right now, but that frees up this other hand too for you to use while you're in your house or in the grocery store, wherever you need to be, okay? Which side? Oh, okay. So, for instance, I got a bum knee, okay? My left knee is bummed, all right? So it goes on the opposite side. Thank you, Rebecca. That's why we have her here. So, I have a bum left knee. You put it on the opposite side because it gets you up nice and tall, like I said, okay? Because if it's on the same side, whoa. If it's on the same side, you're going to be leaning over onto that side and you won't be standing up nice and tall, okay? I'm a little bit of an exaggerator, can you tell? So making sure that it's on the correct side, okay? Appreciate that. Now, if you don't want to use a cane, if you like to hike, you like to be outdoors, trek poles are another really good use, okay? I love these things because we get them up a little bit taller, okay? And they're easier to manipulate or maneuver, however you want to put it. And so as you're walking, it's going to be that opposite arm, opposite leg, okay? You can use them to keep you up nice and tall, okay? As well as if you have to go over uneven surfaces, okay? Really easy to maneuver around. It gives you more support like a walker because you have more points, correct? So, getting you up nice and tall, okay? So, choosing the right assistive device. I see people all the time walking through the grocery store, just pushing their walker like a grocery cart. They don't need it. Let's move up to a cane. You also need to challenge yourself. If you're depending on that walker a whole lot, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to move more. Getting back into what Danielle was saying about vigorous activities. Challenge your body. Your body's been made to move. Sometimes that walker can actually limit you more than it helps you, okay? And then also, like I said, don't resist, choose the least assist. Hence, okay? We'll go on. All right, shoe wear. Anybody love Crocs? Anybody love Crocs? Crocs shoes? Yeah. Well, about those, okay? They are not the greatest shoe that you can choose. There are worse ones, okay? But they're not the greatest, okay? So, non-slip, okay? Anything that's gonna not have really good tread, okay? You have to have good tread on the bottom of your shoes. Firm shoe soles, okay? Or firm sole shoes. I'm actually going to take off my shoes. Sorry for the people in front. Sitting on my feet, okay? If I take my shoe off and I go to bend it, if you notice here in the arch, it doesn't bend a whole lot. I'm working really hard to bend this shoe. That means that this gives me good support, okay? If you have shoes that you can take and fold in half, they aren't good shoes, okay? Because your feet are the first line of contact. If you don't have good support on your feet, it's going to affect everything up the chain, okay? Same thing with heels, flip-flops, slippers, or those Crocs. Making sure that you don't have any of those. Heels are going to push you forward, okay? More falls happen forward because guess what? We're forward-moving people, okay? So let's make sure that we're not increasing that risk, okay? And then why we wear good shoes. Fall risk, number one thing that we've been talking about, okay? Foot health, that good supportive shoes. As we age, we decrease our proprioception, okay? Our sensation in our feet, okay? If we have good supportive shoes, that's gonna help us give us that signal to our brain to say, hey, my foot's touching the ground. Oh, it's uneven, I have to react to that, okay? And then prevention of injury up the chain, like I said. First line of contact, we're going to feel it everywhere else if we don't have on good shoes, okay? All right, and then I'll just put my shoe over here. summary. So balance is multifactorial, okay? There are a number of different things that go into balance and how we maintain our balance. Like all of us have said, there's no one size fits all, okay? What works for you might not work for somebody else, but it's always good to get it checked out and work on, okay? So exercise, the goal of 150 minutes of physical activity, okay? Staying active, all right? That's the main thing. If you don't move it, you'll lose it, okay? So the Staying Active and Independent for Life, the SAIL program, First Baptist of Maryville, they have a program, and then also Silver Sneakers. That's through Medicare. Certain gyms actually cover it, okay? I actually don't remember the list, so I need to go over that. But it is offered in the community as well. The exercises to help with strength and flexibility that we gave in our presentation, okay? The sit to stand, the calf raises, maintain that flexibility with stretching, okay? Also weight shifting with the balance, the single leg, as we talked about earlier. And then the step up, forward and sideways, those are all really good ways to help with strength, okay? Medications. If multiple doctors have prescribed it, make sure you know which ones have prescribed it and how many medications you have, okay? I will say, if you were to come and see us, it's always really good to have a list, just because we like to review that, okay? Home check, as Ms. Cassie was talking about, okay? Plan and prepare your home. That's where you spend a lot of your time, okay? Make it your home. Make it catered to you, not to everybody else, because they're just coming in. They're just coming to see you. Make it to you, okay? Choose an unnecessary assistive device, like I said, okay? Good shoes for you to make your whole body healthy. And then also the assistive device. Use the assistive devices to help you, not for you to help the assistive device, okay? And then if you have any concerns, talk to your doctor, okay? And it's just really good to, even if you haven't had any falls, but you're like, ooh, I'm a little bit more unsteady, it is always good to be prepared than to not be prepared and have to play catch up, okay? All right, we are finished. Yes, any questions for us right now while I put back on my shoe?
Teresa is going to give us a little wrap up.
Before we start our Q&A real quick, I just want to let you know fall prevention is extremely, extremely important. And it hits close to home. A year and a half ago, my father fell. He was getting out of the bed, and his cell phone, he uses for alarm, was on the other side of the bedroom. He jumped out of bed, fell backwards, hit his head on the nightstand. Got up, fell again, and hit his head on the nightstand. We lost our father. He is no longer with us. He's still living, but his mind is gone. And this is a person who was an engineer, had gone back to work, and the mom had passed in 2020. And I can tell you, a fall can change your life immediately, in a blink of an eye. Even though Dad's still with us, he's not with us, so we never really got to tell him goodbye. So it's so, so, so important. In your bag, there's a lot of brochures and information. And post-hypertension, post-arterial hypertension is one of the that's what caused his fall. Is when your blood pressure drops very quickly, leaning over, even I can do that now, and getting up real quick. You get that real dizzy, sometimes you feel like you're going to black out. Well, that's what happened with him. And I just can't tell you how important it is that you and your loved ones and anyone if you're a caregiver, that you take care of fall prevention in your home and using all these recommendations up here from these professionals, because it is very much life-changing to a senior or anyone for that matter.